Come on in, come on in, come on in for today's lesson. Today's teaching is on self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. Self-care isn't selfish, it's necessary. It is necessary. I mean, sometimes I see us going and going and going and look at our calendars and our schedules. My calendar is here, and I have another hard copy calendar where I write things down longhand. I know it's old fashioned, but I like to write things down also in a hard copy calendar that I keep in my handbag so I can grab it at will along with my phone or my iPad and all that good stuff. But we have a lot going on all the time. A lot is happening at one time. If you're a parent of young children, school age children, or school age children, if they're not driving yet, all kinds of activities, sports, and after school activities and church events, just life in general. And then when you throw in your activities, and we just go, 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 do, work, home life. I mean, it's just so much going on at any one given time. And I just wanted to pop in and teach a lesson about self care. It is okay to take care of yourself. It's also a requirement, right? It's a requirement to take care of yourself. The scripture that talks about loving our neighbor as ourselves, oftentimes we gloss over the fact that it says we have to love ourselves first. Or else, how can we love our neighbor as we love ourselves or love well, right? So, loving ourselves is how we love other people, how we love our life partners, how we love our children, our loved ones. We do what? We take care of them, whatever taking care of them looks like, right? We make sure they eat properly. If we cook for them, we make sure that they get the proper exercise, that they get enough rest, that whatever it takes to show love and care for that individual, that's the same thing we need to do for ourselves. So, you know what I'm going to do? Let's go to the Word of God. Even Jesus rested, okay? So, when we go into Mark chapter 4, looking at verse 38, it says, Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" He was asleep on the back of a boat, and the disciples woke him up. Now, what's important about that is that in Mark chapter 4 is an account for us about the fact that Jesus had been out teaching, teaching all day long. And the crowd that showed up on this particular day was so massive, was so large, that Jesus got into a boat, launched out into the water a little bit of ways in order for him to be able to project, right? So this was before microphones, this was before social media and everything like that, right? So here it is, he pushes out so he can talk to all these people and impart some truth to them, but the crowd was just that massive that he was on the boat. So as the evening came, I'm in Mark chapter 4, 35, verse 35, and reading out of the New Living Translation. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Verse 38, Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, now the storm didn't wake him up. The rocking boat didn't wake him up. The disciples woke him up. So Jesus was sleeping well, okay? He had a long day, and it was necessary for him to rejuvenate himself that he rested. He was asleep. When Jesus woke up, verse 39, when Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the winds and waves obey him." I share that particular story about the fact that Jesus was asleep in the midst of a storm to illustrate for us. I believe it's an illustration for us about how important it is for us to get proper rest, right? He had been out all day. He had been teaching all day. I mean, that's equivalent to us working all day, leaving work, taking the kids to practice, leaving practice, having to come home and fix dinner and go over homework, and such a stacked day. And even if you don't have children, working all day, coming home and doing activities, or even after hour events that you may have, going to the gym, right? Taking in a movie, going out to dinner, a full stacked day. This is what Jesus had. And it was necessary for him to take care of himself and to get the proper rest. And so much so that even in the midst of the storm, I just read it, the storm isn't what woke him up. It was the disciples that woke him up. And he was so frustrated that his sleep was broken. I know what that's like. That he was like, "Look, waves, be quiet. Peace be still." Right? They need to get some rest because I was already resting. So Jesus is our example of how important self-care is. You know where I'm going? Genesis chapter 2, verse 1 and 3. So the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. On the seventh day, God had finished his work of creation. So he rested from all his work, and God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy because it was the day he rested from all his work of creation. Okay? God rested. Jesus rested, God rested. What other examples do we need of how important self-care is and how necessary it is? It's not selfish to stop. It's not selfish to rest. It's not selfish to rejuvenate. As a matter of fact, it's healthy. Statistic I found on psychcentral.com was posted on June 19th, 2019. And they cite that somewhere between 75 to 90% of all physician office visits are for stress related ailments and complaints. Stress is linked to the 6 leading causes of death: heart disease, cancer, lung ailments, accidents, cirrhosis of the liver, and suicide. Stress related ailments, right? It's stressful. We are not the Energizer Bunny. I don't know if you've seen the commercial for the Energizer battery, but the Energizer Bunny is infamous. Going, 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 beating on something, walking, whatever it is. Energizer sells millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in batteries because they put the Energizer Bunny next to another type of battery. That other battery dies out and the Energizer Bunny going, 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 going. And that's what we do. Thinking that we're the Energizer Bunny, thinking that we're superhuman and we can keep going and keep going and keep going. No, we can't. Something's going to stop us. Something is going to stop us. Stress being linked to the 6 leading causes of death If we keep going like the Energizer Bunny and not taking the proper time to rest, rejuvenate, self care, we are at risk of being in this position. These pictures were not purchased from Shutterstock. They were not purchased from iPhoto. No, these are mine. That is my arm with my band. Those are my IV bottles right there. That is me, right? I am the poster child for what stress can do. Now, they don't know the cause of my cancer, right? Medically speaking. But I know what kind of regimen and routine I was keeping up. I know that I teach self care and I was doing self care, but my self care was not the proper ratio for the rate at which I was living, at the high pace I was going. The self care has to be consistent or congruent with the amount of energy that one exerts, right? So if you're going more, then that means we require more self care. You don't want to be in this position. I was there. Trust and believe this is not what you want, right? So keeping in mind that self care isn't selfish, it's necessary. Know that stress can kill. And it does, right? We saw that was the leading cause of death in those 5 particular areas. Also, a takeaway, even God and Jesus rested and did proper self care. God created the universe and Jesus saved the universe. So, if the two of them needed to rest, you and I need to rest, right? And finally, do something that helps you to relieve your stress. Smell the roses. Walk along the beach. Read a book. Whatever works for you. Oh, these roses are mine too. I had to take a picture. They were so beautiful. The red roses and the red carnations. Take time to smell the roses. Smell the flowers. Take in the scenery around you. Another place that I absolutely love, and I think this is one of the best places that God ever created, is the beach. I love the beach. Walk along the beach or a pond or a lake if that calms you and helps to relieve your stress. Put that on the calendar, right? And as always, I'm here to help you implement these steps. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, at Lisa Lewis Ellis. Email me, lisa at lisalewisellis.com. Call me, 833-542-2697. We can do this thing together. What is it that works for you? And whatever that is, do it. Make it happen. Self care isn't selfish, it's necessary, it's required. Breathe, slow down. You're not the Energizer Bunny. If the Lord allowed you to be a part of today, of this day, if you have the opportunity to see me, hear me, watch me, whatever the case may be, you are part of this day, which means you have purpose. There is a plan for you. Sure, make the list, tick off the things to do, but also put yourself on the list. Take care of yourself. Remember, stress related ailments and complaints are linked to 6 leading causes of death. You don't want this life. Trust and believe you don't want it. Let me help you avoid it. Remember, remember, self care isn't selfish, it's necessary.